I created a syllabus to explore girlhood through all my creative pursuits, and this week I'm stumped by my own assignment. Week 6, girly outfits. So I realized in editing this video, I did not explain this project at all. What is my girlhood syllabus? Why did I create it? And why did I choose girlhood for the first topic? Let's go back to the start. Why I decided to create this project. At the beginning of the year, I felt very aimless. My work contract was set to be ending in about 6 months, and while I wasn't crazy about my job or anything, I appreciated the flexibility and the little income it did provide me. But I wasn't really doing anything I was particularly proud of. So, in this time of insecurity, I turned to my creative passions to recharge, reinvigorate me. I love crafting, making things, writing, and I just had all these very disparate ideas and concepts to try out and creative, crafty hobbies I wanted to do. So I would start a project over here and then abandon it for something else I was more interested in a couple weeks. Or when I did complete things like a necklace over here, a writing project over here, it never really felt like I was making any progress. I don't know if that makes sense, but there was no through line between all the things I was doing. It didn't really feel like I was accomplishing anything. Also, sometimes I just felt a little overwhelmed with all the different things I could do. I want to do something creative today, and I'm like, well, I could collage, or I could make a video, or I could do jewelry, or I could try clay, or just I could do whatever. So I would just end up doing nothing at all and being mad at myself. I needed a goal, a project to work towards that would not only keep me motivated, synthesize all my interests and, cure this aimlessness. And thus the syllabus project was born. So why girlhood as my first topic then? Well, if you're on the internet, we all know by now that girls are everywhere. It's girl dinner, it's girl math. 2023 was the year of the girl. We got bows everywhere, gingham, coquette, And not to be like that, because I know the tides are kind of turning against this wave of girliness. It kind of never sat right with me. No matter how many Substack personal essays I read, how many cute bows I saw, it just never resonated with me fully. And I think that really has to do with my own personal experience with girlhood. A lot of these pieces in the mainstream girlhood is associated with a sort of freedom, a sort of feeling of protection, innocence, or presumed innocence at least. But that was not my experience with being a girl. I was not granted any of those things. It was a struggle, boo. So I think that was my aversion to it right off the bat, because I'm I don't know about you, but I like being grown. I don't want to go back to being a girl. I felt very oppressed as a girl. I had no autonomy, and I was not presumed innocent, and I was not protected. I was very vulnerable, more vulnerable than I am now as a grown person, which is quite vulnerable in America right now. But that's not all my girlhood was. My girlhood was not only struggle. There was a lot of external pressures that made it that way, and it was a very difficult time. But in choosing this topic, it would help me explore those sticky feelings. Why was I so adverse to it? I mean, yeah, I just explained it, but even if it is because of all these dark things that I talked about, I should be able to explore them, be honest with myself about them, and also honor the little girl that I was, because she was very strong and resilient and independent in all these different ways. She had some courage that I don't even think my grown 28-year-old self has, okay? So I should be honoring her. I chose my first syllabus project to be about girlhood. And it's all supposed to culminate in an essay. Through exploring my own girlhood, I am coming to understand why no one wants to be a woman anymore. Why so many women my age feel like being a girl is safer than being a woman. I think that maybe explains it enough. So let's get back to this week's prompt. Putting this together, I really thought this would be so easy. Fashion is my passion. Just make some outfits, right? But for some reason, this prompt, more than others, feels like I'm going backwards. My hands are ashy. I've been using this Onyx Professional Hard as Hoof strengthening nail cream because I got a set of Gel X recently and my nails are trashed. Okay, now I can talk with my hands. For some reason, this prompt more than others just feels like I'm going backwards. And at 28, I was finally feeling some sort of comfortability in myself as a grown person and how I'm perceived as a woman. This year, I became a writer that didn't write. I experienced this year, did life research, learned things I couldn't work out in a journal at home but had to be felt in the real world. Something central to my understandings in my 28th year is how everything I want is inside of me, waiting for my heart to be brave enough to act on it. This may seem counterintuitive to what I just expressed, but walk with me. Since my later teenage years, I've been so preoccupied by others. This was because of combinations of things, but I do think all young people are afflicted with this come middle school, and certainly high school. Puberty, hormones, kisses, crushes, auditioning. And also for me, by the time I was a teen, I had already craved attention and belonging for so many years. I had gone without so long, purged. I was a very solitary child. In my solitude, I wrote stories, planned vacations to take with my future family. I expressed fully into pages. I kept myself always entertained. My focus at that time lay much more inward, though always involved in some struggle for affection. Back then, it just didn't consume me. But one day I saw a topless scene in Bubble Boy and unleashed a whole new arena for desire in me. It wasn't just that scene, though. I am a hopeless romantic, probably my most Taurian trait. It was ghosts, Disney of course, but mostly music. Tina, Amy, Nina, all this input swelled inside of me while I started to fill out my brows, and all of a sudden I so wanted someone to notice. This is where the affliction started. Back to this year, I planned a short trip to Chicago for my birthday. This felt big for me, however tame it may sound to you. Traveling to a new city alone was a big accomplishment and would help me bring in 28 confidence. But I didn't know when planning the trip is that I would come back to LA with a new job. I rode that high that can only be felt when you name what you want and you act on it. Something clicked that week. A couple days chasing me had paid off so much more than months and months of chasing after connection with others. At 28, I find comfort in myself, in my own company. Cutting and pasting. This feeling of being pulled backward may be attributed to the fact that I'm planning my 10-year high school reunion. I'm also joining the alumni association of my high school. And my childhood best friend just got married. They met when we were in high school together. So I've just, been seeing their families, seeing all of our friends from that time in my life, and it just really feels like a full circle moment in a lot of ways. So I felt very adverse to this week's assignment, so much so that I just let this project, this whole thing, kind of fall on the back burner. I think that how I dress is just so intimately tied to my identity and my sense of self. And right now, I'm so just in a mindset of I want to go forward, not backwards, not backwards, not backwards. Because I'm finally getting in a place where I don't feel as tied down by my past. So why am I being pulled backward? Can someone who's been 28 please explain? Please explain. Kind of felt like, especially with these external forces present, that if I put on outfits that remind me of my youth and being a girl, I would be tipped over the edge of feelings and just everything would come crashing out. And this is often how I feel about water. The ocean, a pool, a stream, a waterfall. Even just taking a refreshing shower and washing my hair with some nice minty shampoo. I'm so afraid of it. I'm so afraid of water because every time I'm at the edge of it, it just evokes so much feeling in me. I feel powerless against it. Whereas I have so much restraint over my feelings, usually I can pull it in, I can adjust. I can't do that when I'm around water, and that's how this assignment is feeling to me. So I went to Greece this summer for that wedding I was talking about, my best friend's wedding. In the first half, we were in Athens for a week. It was so much fun. There's so much to do there. The city is just so alive. There are some days we just set out and walked towards a direction, no plans at all, and we came across so many cool things. And I thought I would be safe to live like a city dweller like I do here in Koreatown, just letting the city move me. But the second week we spent in Mykonos, and I spent a lot of that time in my hotel room alone, and the sea called to me. I had no idea I would be on a Greek island this year. The sea called me home. She told me she was getting married in Greece. I was like, I'm so happy for you, girl. And then she's like, and I want you to come. And I'm like, oh, wow, I wasn't expecting that. But I went and I did it. And it was my first time in Europe. And that second week, I was surrounded by the sea. And the feelings came. I cried. I journaled. The feelings came and I felt powerless. And I was. I was so far away from home, farther than I've ever been. But here I am. I cried, I swam in warm water, and I did not drown. I am here to tell a tale to you now. I wrote sad scripts by the pool, but I did not drown. Though sometimes I did get tired of swimming because I'm still learning how to float. So though I made it through that alive, I'm still not going to put on outfits that remind me of my girlhood. I'm just not gonna do it. I think about it, it's just not an interesting video. It's just not a fun video to watch. And I am, going through this whole process on TikTok and YouTube for you. But I think it is a more interesting zine. So I will find some pictures, probably of my high school self, because that's when I really started getting into style and fashion. I didn't have to wear a uniform anymore. And I really started thrifting by myself. I want to make a zine that kind of reflects on my style during that time, some of my influences, and yeah, just pay homage to that era of Jade style. Not in a way that's putting girly outfits on my body. So here's the zine that I came up with. I'm sitting on the floor. I just wanted to flip through the zine and kind of talk about the pages with you all. This is week 6 of my syllabus, so I put week 6 there. These pictures generally span 2014, 2015. So right off the bat, we have like my influences, my style influences. And guys, okay, this is just a lesson to make bad art. I don't think this is particularly good or aesthetic. I would change this so much if I were to do it again, or if I were to like sell this scene or something. But I was just doing it for fun, because that's what it's about. It's way better than scrolling on your phone, though I still do too much of that. But anyway, my influences: Tumblr, obviously. I spent a lot of time on Tumblr in middle school and high school. Skaters, so I spent a lot of time at the North Hollywood skate park. A lot of time waiting at the skate park for basically to buy weed before I was able to myself. I also would just sit there with friends sometimes, would gaze at all the skaters coming through, and my style was very influenced by them. Actually, skater type style was definitely like way more popular back then in LA. The USC thrift, yeah, the USC Goodwill. So my style was very influenced by whatever I can find there. And underground raps. So I was big into like the Underachievers, Xavier Wolf, whole Sesh Money, Wolf. Like, yeah, I'm like very much out of that era of my life now. So Space Goes Perp, like, and I was also really into like a lot of the underground LA rap because this was the time Absol, Dom Kennedy, High Power, those were the days, and I was very inspired by that because that's what was happening in LA at the time. So this first picture, oh my god, this was when I went downtown with some friends. It says felt so grown in this little bubble here because I truly did feel so grown this day. Well, I love this picture. Like, I made it my profile picture on everything. I just thought it was so Tumblr. I'm wearing a Kitson tee. Do you guys remember Kitson? Yeah, it's my older sister's shirt. I don't know if she gave it to me or if I took it from her, but I wish I still had that shirt. Where is it? It's really cute. It's like camo, but it's Tweety Bird. And these are just some black high-waisted shorts that I got from that USC Goodwill. And I always wore a bandana. I was fighting the old silk presses, so the bandana helped that. But this time I wore a bandana like on the loop of my shorts. Oh, the dad sweater. If you were around 2014, 2015, you definitely had one that you thrifted, okay? I love this one. It was like a sienna color. I thrifted it. I was wearing my mom's flannel under this with like a little collar poking out. I felt just so Tumblr, of course. Very Tumblr inspired. I have a little plaid skirt that I thrifted, and then I went to the Urban Outfitters like outlet in Sherman Oaks on Ventura. I bought these knee-high socks for $4, but they were actually wool, so they were very warm. Next page is kind of like where I shop. So USC Goodwill, we talked about her. Santee Alley, or the alley as we would call it. Picture later in here with some red skinny jeans. I got like every color skinny jean from Santee Alley. Hand-me-downs, of course, from my older sister. Zizabet. Do any LA people remember Zizabet? It was like a boutique store they had in different places. There was one in Inglewood. There's one in Van Nuys too that me and my friend would go to. Forever 21, you know, classic. Sad she's gone. Urban Outfitters outlet, once again on Ventura. Came in clutch, you know, for a broke girl like me. And the bins. This was like in my later years in high school. I found the bins in Atwater Village, and honey, I was taking the bus 2 hours to go out there because it was that serious to me. I loved it. Oh my gosh, this striped shirt I'm wearing, this was like my favorite shirt ever, and if I still had it, it probably would be. It was just like slightly off the shoulder, it was slouchy, it was perfect. It was from Madewell, 100% cotton. I remember the day I got it on sale from Madewell. It was like the first time I bought something from that store, and to me it was such like a grown-up store that I felt so cool wearing it. It says I missed this shirt right there at the top. Unfortunately, I left this at my ex's house, so I'll never have her again. But the brand was Highline. It was off the shoulder, 100% cotton, black and white striped shirt. If you find one, please leave it in the comments. I will buy her immediately because I miss her daily. Wearing those same black thrifted shorts, like my Michael Kors crossbody, of course. And I'm wearing white chucks because, well, what's a LA girl to do but wear some white chucks? Okay, the red skinny jeans. Okay, you had to have colored skinny jeans in the 2010s. I don't think you guys understand, but the red was definitely my favorite. Definitely was my favorite. I had blue. I might have had green. I think I had green. Definitely had maroon, but I think red. Red was my favorite because to me, it was giving like a little bit alternative. It was giving like a little bit punk. Even though that wasn't me at all. I was a cheerleader. I was senior class president. I was emo inside, but she was not giving punk, honey. But yeah, that's a shirt from Forever 21. Those are my cheer girls holding me up. That freaking headband, I wore that all the time, you guys. All the time. It was actually pretty cute. And that is the end. Bye-bye. This is a picture in the Forever 21 mirror. I wonder which Forever 21 this was. I don't know. But here I'm wearing one of those like faux layer jackets that was also like so in back then. These were the Urban Outfitters cigarette jeans. Do you remember those, you guys? You remember the Urban Outfitters cigarette jeans? If you're that girl, you remember. My white chucks, yet again, those were the shoes I wore the most. I think, you know, every year or so I would get a new pair of shoes for school, and I would either get a new pair of Converse or I would choose a different color of Vans because what can I say? I'm an LA girly. Michael Kors purse made a comeback in my Samsung Galaxy, my first smartphone. Okay, but there's my little scene. Make bad art. You know, it's fun. This was quite a release for me, and even talking about it with you all right now was just so nice. Thank you guys for watching. I will continue to make YouTube videos about the syllabus project. Really want to get this girlhood syllabus finished so that I can start a brand new one for 2026. Bye. Week 6 is complete.